What is going on, YouTube? Enemy here, and I want to talk about something that just was announced by Microsoft, and that is the used game. Whole thing has been removed. They just announced it a couple hours ago, and no longer will you have to check in with the servers every 24 hours. Now, just before I make this video, I'm not a PlayStation fanboy. I play on my PlayStation 3, I play on my Xbox 360, and I play on my PC. They all have their benefits. Now that I got that out of the way, I can start on this. And I'm still not going to buy the Xbox One. I probably would have bought the Xbox One if Xbox would not have announced these used games restrictions. Now, you would think that I would buy it after I figured out that it was reversed, but there's just one problem that I have, and I want to know who thought it'd be a good idea to do it in the first place. They know that used games is a big part of the industry, and taking that away is not a very good play by Microsoft. They might be making more money in the end, but chances are they lose more money in the long run. That made no sense. They will make more money in the beginning and lose more in the long run. Because PlayStation took a big jab at Microsoft at the E3 press conference. I'll put like a picture up of it if you haven't seen it. And that was just probably one of the biggest burns I've ever seen on another game company from PlayStation, uh, which probably really sold the people that were unsure about buying an Xbox One to the PS4. And I'm jumping around real quick. I've taken business marketing. I know what to do to make a profit. You need to focus on what your customers want, but you also need to work on making a profit. So Microsoft was trying to make a profit without making the customers happy. A very small percentage of the customers were happy with the thing because they think that the used game market is killing the industry, which somewhat it is. But once I own a piece of property, once I buy a game, it's rightfully mine. It's my property. I have the right to distribute it to somebody, as in the physical copy that I bought. I that don't mean copying it and giving it to people. Sorry. I mean letting my friends borrow the game. So the people that were on the fence were probably going to be going to the PS4. Now, at first I was like, oh, maybe I should get an Xbox One, but I'm like, no. It was just a stupid idea in the first place, and I want to know who thought it would be a good idea in the first place to even think that we as a community would want that. They were just getting really greedy, which is kind of funny because they're Microsoft. They have a lot of money. Sorry, my sister's being loud and obnoxious as usual. Anyway, but once at E3, if Xbox maybe would have said this before E3, that could have sold me a little more. It's all about the timing. If they would have decided this before E3, that would have made a lot of people probably pre-ordered the Xbox already before. But then the Sony press conference came around, and not only did they show the price, it's $100 cheaper. People are telling me that I have to spend an extra $100 on that required Connect. Fuck that. That's stupid. I don't want to connect. And the specs in the PS3 are better. And if you don't believe me, I'll put up the Xbox and the PS3 specs right here. Right? Sorry, I'm not used to this. Here. PS3, Xbox. Wait, PS3, Xbox. Yeah. Anyway, PS3 has better specs. And the reason that the PS3 or PS3, I mean PS4, excuse me, is cheaper. It's because they are going to third-party developers, not developers, but companies for the parts. I read somewhere, now correct me if I'm wrong, but I read somewhere that they were going to AMD for the processor, which saves them tons of money because they would have to spend the money on the employees, on the labor, and then just all that stuff that you need to make the thing, and then we as customers would have to pay that. And another thing to me is console appearance. This is kind of eh. It doesn't really sell me a console, but I like a console that looks nice. An Xbox looks like a VCR. It does. It looks stupid. PS4, it looks sharp. And I don't mean a pun, like, because it has pointy edges, but I mean, it just looks right for this generation. It looks like it belongs in this generation. The Xbox 360 looked like it belonged in this generation. The new slim PS3s look like they belong in this generation. The new Xbox Ones do not. Sorry, I'm looking down at the screen. So, this is my opinion on it. Me, as a fellow gamer, I believe that I have the right to be able to distribute my games legally, even though Microsoft said that they're no longer having this because they realize what a dumb move they made. I'm still not going to buy it, and a lot of people aren't because of the price and the specs. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want more rants, let me know, because I have a lot of things to yell about.